What's up, everybody? It's Jake Alexander, the voice in the void, the lone wolf, your favorite host with a lisp. How the hell are you? Happy Friday to you, and welcome to another episode of the Twee'quel Podcast. If you haven't listened to any episode before, go back and listen to some now. I'm pretty sure you'll find something you like. And if you've been rocking with us for a while, man, hey, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for holding on and waiting for me to come back because I know it's been a minute. It's been more than a couple of weeks. I said it was only going to be a week, and it wound up being two, and that was. Well, there was a reason for that, which is why we have today's episode, which is not going to be a regular episode, just me talking. And I wanted to deliver a message to you just to let you know a couple of things. I'll just get right to it and tell you the absolute truth. Over the past couple of weeks, I have not felt myself. Truth be told, I have been feeling quite horrible. Not physically, but mentally, spiritually, I just been feeling just completely bad. I am tired all the time. I'm irritable. Thankfully, my kids are just two of the greatest kids ever, and they just like have kept me laughing, and thankfully they have not gotten on my nerves. I know that's a blessing because most parents can't say that. My wife has been my rock, as she always has been as long as I've known her, and I'm so very glad that I have those three, because the truth of the matter is, like I said, I have not been feeling well whatsoever. And the truth of the matter is this is a reoccurring theme right around this time of the year for me. I would say it's because of so many people in my family have been gone for so long. I have tried my best not to, not to think about it, not to let it get to me, but around this time of year, around Thanksgiving up until the new year, it does get to me. It gets to me because I miss them all so very much. Now, this is not a isolated incident for myself. Like I said, this is pretty much every year, and even though I try to get away from it, it dogs me. But I've come to figure out and to find out that this is a common thing among most people. They call it seasonal depression, and it's a thing. It's a real thing. I know I talk at the end of every episode, don't I? I talk about it, say that, hey, you're not alone. If you're feeling like you need to talk to somebody, pick up the phone, dial 988 or text 98. There's always somebody there, and I feel much of a hypocrite because even though I might tell that to everybody, it's so very hard for me to have my own advice be taken, right? And I think that's a lot of people. We give advice, and it's hard to take our own advice or to take advice from other people. There's a stigma for men to talk about their problems, and yeah, I do talk about my problems, but I have never actually sat down and really gone in deep to it. I have friends. I have a therapist where I sit down and talk to my problems in depth, but sometimes I hold things back, and they get to me. And I should have been honest about that from the beginning, and maybe I would be a lot better off, but I didn't. And like I said, for the past few weeks, almost a month maybe, it's just been one struggle after another just to pull myself up out of bed some days, which is why you didn't get that episode last week. The week of Thanksgiving, like I said, we weren't going to do that one anyway. It was Thanksgiving. I was not going to be in the vault behind the mic doing this. I was going to spend some time with my family and friends and just eat myself silly, and which I did, and I had such a good time. Shout out to my aunt, and shout out to my god brother and god sister, and my brothers and sisters. I hung out with them, and my sister, whose birthday was just a few days ago. Happy 50th birthday to her. Just one good time after another, just hanging with them and eating and having a drink or two here and there, and just letting the troubles of the world kind of wash away. But when I wasn't with them in the quiet times, it was just me and my thoughts, and it was hard. This time of year, starting just around Thanksgiving, or actually I would say just around Halloween for me, just after Halloween, even though that's my favorite holiday, I would say it starts to hit me because my mom is gone, and she passed away just before Halloween, and my dad is gone, and he actually passed away the day after Thanksgiving. So many other of my family members, uncles and grandmothers and godmothers, they all passed away a lot of times around this time of year, and it always makes it hard for me to just to get up the strength to get out here and talk to people and hang out and just to enjoy the holiday, because like I said at the beginning, I miss them all very much. It's hard because everything about these holidays and this time of the year it's tied to them, right? All my Thanksgiving traditions is tied to my mom and my dad and my grandmother. Everything for Christmas, they're tied to my mom and dad, my grandmother, my brothers and sisters, aunts, and everybody. All of those things are tied to them. And now that I'm older and I have kids and I'm married, I realize that it's up to me to make those traditions or to carry those traditions and to make them come alive for my kids. And I try my very best to do it. But still, I should have been talking to somebody a lot more than I'm talking now. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, what does that have to do with the podcast? We usually talk about movies and fun stuff. It's because, like I said before, I tell people at the end of every episode, hey, you're not alone. If you need to talk to somebody, pick up the phone, dial a text, and you're not alone. And I didn't take that advice to myself. I should have been talking about this with my therapist and my friends and, my wife, my family members. I should have been talking about this openly a long time ago, and I didn't. And I realize now, talking to them, trying to find some measure of peace away from everything that's been dogging me over these last few years, around this time. I should have been talking to them, but now that I realize that I am not alone. And a lot of you are dealing with this too. And I want you to know that it's not just you. It's not some isolated thing. You're not crazy. You're not weird. It doesn't make you weak. Yes, I say these type of things at the end of every episode, just about it. But the truth of the matter is, I should have had an entire episode about this to drive the point home. And so here I am. I'm laying it all bare. I'm telling you exactly why last week's episode didn't show up. I'm telling you exactly why this week's episode is the way it is. Because just like a lot of you, just like a lot of the people around you who don't even talk about this time of year is really hard for a lot of us. So I'm going to challenge each and every single one of us, every single one of you who listen. This challenge, I'm taking it to myself. Stop for a moment, take inventory of yourself and say, hey, am I irritable right now, or am I tired right now because maybe you're working a lot of hours? Because a lot of us are working a lot of hours, and maybe that's just it. Or maybe, just maybe, you are tired and irritable and a little bit or a lot of bit sad because this time of year, this has become just a drag on you because of seasonal depression. If that's the case about you, truly, talk to somebody. Don't hold it in. Don't hold back. Don't feel like that there's something wrong with you, because more than likely, it's not just you in your friend group, in your family group. More than likely, it's going to be most of you. The world over the past few years has been one complete train wreck of an event after another. We have war, we have poverty going sky rampant, inflation, everything, all the evil and nasty things of the world that we can do to each other, we have right now. So I say, take inventory of yourself, of the people around you, and I guarantee you'll come to figure out that, hey, this is something we can tackle together, and you truly are not alone. And I know, like I said, I say that at the end of the episode, and I know I'm trying to drive that home, but maybe we can do just a little bit more, especially this time of year. It's a time for fellowship and love amongst men and all the cliches that come with the Christmas holiday. Maybe, just maybe, we can actually start to make those things come alive, to make those things real, to actually start to take care of each other. And then the sun will shine again for all of us. I know that sounds a bit depressing for an episode for a podcast that talks about movies and stuff, but I told you before, sometimes we're going to have to dig into the real things and talk about those real things, because those real things inform us a hell of a lot more than movies and anime and music and comic books and the like. So I had to be honest with you today, but I do feel a lot better. I feel a lot better after talking to my therapist and talking to my wife and talking to my good friend Dominic and talking to a whole lot of other people. I feel a hell of a lot better. I've been so beat up and tired that I forgot just how much I like doing this. And it's crazy because last week's episode didn't come because I dreaded doing it, because I know I didn't sound like I was having a good time. A couple of episodes you can listen over the past few months where it sounds like I'm just going through the motions. And if I'm being honest, I probably was. But not now. Like I said, I feel better. I'm feeling good. If you're looking at this episode on YouTube, you can see I'm wearing my Pistons coat. I'm getting ready to go hang out with a couple of friends and have a drink instead of going to work. But this is such a turning point for me, and I want it to be a turning point for all of you. So let's end this episode with me telling you the exact same thing I say at the end of just about every episode. If you are feeling like you need someone to talk to, like you're alone, don't be. Don't think you're alone. You are not alone. Pick up the phone, dial a text, 988. There's somebody always there waiting to talk. Yeah, it's a hotline for the other thing, but still, they are there just to talk, and it can get you through some of the darkest times. Pick up the phone and call your friend or your family. You never know. Once that one person that you would think may be the last person you should talk to about your personal problems might be the actual person that you need to talk to. And believe me, once you get through it, you will slap yourself like, why didn't I do this earlier? I feel so much better. And I promise you that if you do that, so much more will open up and your life would seem just a little bit brighter. And now we will end this episode the same way we end every single episode. God bless. I love you. And peace. See you next time.